What's good? Move that back. What is good? Another day, another video here. Today, I'm just gonna go over the basic attention token white paper for the Brave browser, which I'm using right now. Let me record my screen here so I can show you. Alright, there we go. Recording the screen. Okay, I'm like at the appendix now, but I'll just show you like the beginnings probably. Basic attention, blockchain-based digital advertising is the whole thing about, is the whole point. The nice abstract here. Basically, Brave browser, in terms of what it does for the user, it keeps track of the sites that you go on and the amount of time that you spend on those sites. And then it kind of aggregates that and then pays the user a certain amount. And I think it pays the publisher a certain amount. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it pays the publisher a certain amount for, like by the advertisers. So the advertisers pay Brave in order to advertise on the platform. And then you get these notifications that are ads. So this is an ad. I hope it actually shows this. Let me just click on it. Please Okay, well, I'm not gonna do all that stuff. But like, so you can click on ads or just view the ads and it gives you basic attention token. Let's see what that is. So yeah, basic attention token. Earn tokens by viewing Brave ads. And then they have like a certain thing that allows it to be based on your interests and whatnot. And they pay you out like per, kind of like every couple of months or something like that. So like the next payment date's March 5th. And then I have, because I viewed this many ads, so I have my thing set to 5 ads per hour. So like, I get 5 ads per hour, and then they give me basic attention token, like just basically for using the internet. And like, so this much ads, or because like this is a little bit from the month of January too. I think I had like a couple days in January, but majority of this is February, and I received this much basic attention token and like this much money for it, which is not that much, admittedly. Not really that much, but it's kind of more of the idea that kind of makes a difference here, because now the user and publisher can get paid directly from advertising, which is pretty cool, as opposed to the previous model where you'd have the platform, basically like YouTube, for example, would kind of have more say over the advertising and like where the revenue goes. And even like the YouTube model isn't that bad, to be honest. Like, it's not that bad, but like in my opinion, but you know, I do think this is cool because the users can now get more involved in it, like instead of just, you know, viewing a bunch of ads, and using the platform for free, because Brave is also free too, which is cool. But I mean, YouTube's free, so shoot. But then in terms of the how they monetize like the data, maybe that's not great. And then how they give you ads based on that is not the best. But then with Brave, it just kind of takes out all the ads. I don't even remember the last time I've like seen an ad or had to skip an ad or something on YouTube. And like the only ads I see now on Facebook are like kind of the sponsored ads. So it takes away a lot of stuff. And then it takes away a lot of like third party trackers and stuff like that. Let me show you. Like on YouTube, they have shields up for the site, so they block a lot of the scripts that send you cookies. And I don't know if you guys know that term, but like cookies are basically like small text files that are run when you go on certain sites, and then they track the user inputs on the sites, and they save them onto your browser. And then each time the server basically like a call is made to the server, it picks up those cookies, and then it like says, okay, here's where you left off, kind of like, so here's where you left off, here's what changed from last time, kind of thing. I haven't like written a cookie myself before, so you'd probably want to look up cookies. Like if I write cookies, and I'll be able to like tell you more about that. But basically, like, they call them cross-site trackers because they track basically your progress on the site, pretty much, or what you inputted on the site. So if you input something into the search bar, you have cookies that remember that. So then when you go back again, if those cookies aren't cleared, then it's like, okay, this is where you left off. This is what you did last time, pretty much. And then oftentimes, then you can do certain things, because like they're just a program, right? So you can do certain things with cookies that can kind of say, okay, like if we didn't see this data last time, like that means that this person did this over the course of the last time that he, used this site to now. So, I mean, and you could call that creepy. I mean, it's software, it is what it is. And those are often like fed into algorithms and stuff. That's like what a lot of people say when they say, oh, user data. User data is like stored by cookies a lot. And then the other creepy things blocked. See, I don't even know what the other creepy things might be. Like, see, like that's something that, like, someone who knows more about software, like if, there's probably like a whole host of things that make YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff and Google like not good, that I don't even know about. But just from a user perspective, I kind of like the sites, so like, but maybe that's because I don't know like all the crap that's going on. But yeah, so I mean, the guy that made JavaScript, the language, and like a whole host of other things, I think he was like part of Mozilla Firefox, that browser. He made like a different browser. So that's, I mean, cool. The guy knows a bunch, like straight up. So like that's interesting. So like they kind of, in the beginning, they just discuss why things are kind of screwed on the internet today. Because people's attention is being, like, they're not being compensated for how much time they spend basically using the internet, using the World Wide Web. Which, that's good that we can be compensated for it. And then, yeah, they use advertising. Like, so the World Wide Web is basically monetized for the most part based off of web advertisements. And there's a whole ecosystem of how you can get your advertisements in front of people, and there's like middlemen and all this stuff that's not great, and the publisher doesn't get compensated fully. The user doesn't get compensated for their attention, you could say. And then even the advertiser themselves kind of has to jump through certain hoops because of the middlemen. And it's almost like that everywhere. But like my friends say, bureaucracy is everywhere. And then blockchain as a whole is trying to get rid of bureaucracy. So this is one of the blockchain based protocols, because essentially Brave is like a protocol that is trying to take that out. So they describe the market a little bit. And you can just type in basic attention, or just like Brave Whitepaper or basic attention token Whitepaper, and you could pull this up. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, they give you a lot of different like diagrams to show you different things about like attention on the internet and advertising on the internet. Like for example, a big portion of what they say is that a lot of your like the data transferred is advertisement, so it's not even the actual scripts like the JavaScript or the HTML, like the actual code is not that much compared to the advertisements. So like for these 8 sample publishers, 3.6 megabytes out of 8.1 is from advertisement. So that's almost the biggest chunk. Like it's almost as big as the code. And for this one, it's even bigger than the code. For this one, it's way bigger. So advertisements, clearly they take up a lot of like internet data transferred, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But like that's the way the internet's supposed to be monetized, right? And you gotta make money, so it kind of makes sense in a way. Like you have to change around the whole scheme of making money off the internet in order to change something like this, and that's what Brave is trying to do. Yeah, so this video is kind of long, so I can't go over all of this in detail. Yeah, they say malvertising, like bad advertising and malware and stuff like that is transferred. And that's true. And it's almost become so standard that people don't really care anymore. Like a lot of people that use the internet today, they don't even remember a time where they didn't have to deal with a lot of this crap. Granted, a lot of people, they download ad blockers, and that's also part of the issue that they talk about here, and that's an issue for publishers. Because if you download ad blockers, that means the publisher doesn't really get like the max amount of value that they could based off of like the content they produce. Because how the publisher gets money is by the ads on their site. So if there's ad blockers, that means you don't click on any ads, you don't even view any ads. So even if you kind of like the content that they have, they're not really going to get paid off of it, and you got to make money. So yeah, that's kind of a bad thing for the publishers. And then obviously it's a bad thing for the advertisers if you download ad blocking software. So, and the advertisers, they're not necessarily the enemy here, but they've just had bad ways of trying to input their advertisement, like get it in front of a user. So it's just kind of ugly in that sense. It's like any kind of system that gets, like when more and more people figure out, hey, like here's like what I can make out of it. Like you get smaller people taking chunks of money out of it, then the whole thing kind of becomes like a little bit bloated, basically, is what it seems like. Attention-based economics on blockchain. Yeah, and they use certain metrics. I can try to go over these, but like I have to learn more of these. Like they have a lot of like algorithms that they name in this thing. Ooh, there's math. A lot of people don't like math. But yeah, so I kind of want to go over that myself, like some of the algorithms they talk about. I'll probably get to, yeah, like anonymized algorithm, zero knowledge proof scheme. I need to learn about those more. And I'll probably try to have videos on it. Proof of payment, proof of attention instead of proof of work. That's pretty crazy. And then they do that like locally, so a lot of that stuff is just tracked by your own device, which is cool. Like Stark, a lot of this stuff may become part of the stack for guarding privacy of participants. That's cool. So that's like something I kind of want to go over. For anything that I create, like it can guard privacy, but I also want to give the user the chance to like sell off some of like the stuff if they want to. Like, so it's not gonna quite be like this, but I might try to take some stuff from this. And it's all open source too, which is cool. Tokens for user, those user applications. And I could even like offer basic attention token maybe for like some of the stuff I want to do, if that's possible, if it's on the web. I'll probably try to be verified as a publisher on this thing. Yeah, and they have like a little bit of a roadmap, and this white paper is like 2 years old. I think it was in the 2019, early 2019 that they dropped this thing, and I just figured out about it like in January, so I'm like technically kind of late when it comes to like software standards. Talk about the business landscape. There's not really that much competing with it, to be honest. Like that like does the same thing as them. It's mostly just like they're competing with like Google and stuff like that, like as a search engine. So that's definitely different. Like, and Google's not necessarily doing what they're doing. They're kind of doing the opposite of what they're doing almost. But yeah, and then they have an overview and all that stuff. And then like Brendan Ike, this guy, he had like a Lex Friedman podcast, and that was cool. And they have all the people. They talked about the token launch and all that. But yeah, and they have frequently asked questions. And some of these questions are kind of like old. Like, because the crowd sale and stuff like that already happened. But yeah, I'll end that there. Yeah, that's basically it. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And it's like a cool concept, and like you saw, I have gotten a little bit of money out of it. Granted, it's not that much money, but it's something that's interesting, and just by using the service, you can get paid off of it. So that's like something interesting. I kind of want to make something like that myself, like to where you just use the thing, and then you can get paid off of it by using it. Granted, I kind of do want to make it like so the user themselves can have more of a say in how they're getting paid. Like, so they can directly like contact the sellers if that's possible. Because in here, the sellers contact like the Brave browser still. But I kind of want to make something to where the sellers can contact like the users directly, so it would just be like more direct. But yeah, that seems to be like it'll be pretty hard though, or maybe just a new idea. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's basically it. I'll post a video for today. Yeah, that's all I got basically. See, there's another ad. Like, it's pretty cool. You just use the internet and get served ads, and you get a little bit of money. That's not bad. If like I could make a system that's like, because that's an efficient system. If I could make a system like that kind of like plugs holes of efficiency like that, I'd be like, you do things that make you healthy, and like you just get paid for it. And then maybe you get paid by people who just want the data of what you did. Yeah, and then I would try to get you more money than like a few,